Hey guys, Raven Knight here. This isn't going to be my usual kind of video, but I've gotten a few folks asking me my thoughts on the new Netflix movie K-pop Demon Hunters. I've also seen quite a few channels reacting to the songs, the scenes, and, of course, Christian reactions to the film. I wouldn't be surprised if LED themselves came out of hiding to address this one, so I figured I'd watch the movie, and I have my own opinions. So why not? Let's talk about my thoughts on the movie from a Christian perspective. First, let's talk about what the movie is. No spoilers yet. The movie follows three girls, Rumi, Mira, and Zoe. These three girls make up the K-pop girl group Huntrix, the most successful and loved K-pop group in all of Korea and perhaps all of the world. But that's just their public appearance. In secret, the girls are actually the next generation in a long line of demon hunters. It turns out that there is a demon realm just beneath ours, and throughout history, these demons have emerged into our world to feed on the souls of humans for their king, Grima. To combat the demons, there have always been a trio of Korean women who used martial skills combined with their angelic voices to battle the demons and sing to give hope and happiness to the world. Through their efforts and through their voices, they have created a powerful barrier to hold back the demons called the Honmoon. According to legend, when the Honmoon turns golden, the demons will be sealed away forever. In this generation, Huntrix is super close to sealing the Honmoon for good. All I have to do is release that one final and powerful hit single to really seal the deal. However, sensing the coming doom, the demons throw one last Hail Mary, a demon boy band. This boy band group, called the Saja Boys, are taking Korea and the world by storm and stealing the fans of Huntrix. Not only this, but their leader, Jinu, discovers a secret about Rumi that she's hiding from the other girls on Huntrix. Now the clock is ticking and the pressure's up. Can Rumi come clean to her friends about her secret? Will Jinu use that to destroy the girls? Can they seal the Honmoon and defeat the Saja Boys? That's the premise. Okay, with all that out of the way, time for the spoilers, okay? After this moment, we're going into spoiler territory. If you don't want the film spoiled, turn back now, come back after you watch it, okay? This is your warning. Spoilers ahead. Got it? We good? All right, 3, 2, 1. You've been warned. Spoiler time. Turns out, Rumi is a half-demon, and she has marks on her arms and reveals that truth. She's terrified of her friends finding out, as they might hate her for them. Jinu, meanwhile, is fascinated. He was once a human who sold his soul to Grima in exchange for a beautiful voice to get him out of poverty. But in the process, he betrayed his mother and sister to better himself, and now he lives with that shame and remorse, which is how Grima controls him. Rumi and Jinu begin to grow a bond together, both bound by their shame and their guilt. Rumi tries to convince Jinu to help her seal the Honmoon and maybe redeem himself, but Jinu is too fixated on his past deeds and believes he doesn't deserve redemption. Thus, he betrays Rumi, revealing her secret to Huntrix, breaking up their group, and proceeding to steal the souls of all their fans. Rumi, broken and destroyed over this, realizes how foolish she was to hide herself from her friends and to lie to them all this time. She returns using her stellar voice to sing their final song alongside her friends who forgive her. They join forces again to defeat Grima once and for all, sealing the Honmoon. Jinu sacrifices himself to save Rumi, finally obtaining the redemption he always sought, and the film ends with a very positive, uplifting narrative, happily ever after. Okay, that's the movie. Let's start by talking about the film's positives, okay? Firstly, the songs are incredible. Had to put that out there first and foremost. Every song in the film is an absolute hit. Even Soda Pop, which was intended to be a cheesy boy band love song, is honestly really catchy and fun to hum to.
My little soda pop, you're all I can think of. Every drop I drink up, you're my soda pop, my little soda pop.
My absolute favorite songs have got to be Free, Your Idol, Golden. Those are probably my three favorites, which are all so well done, and I absolutely downloaded the full soundtrack on my phone. It's just that good. Further, the animation is great. In a world where animation companies are just getting lazy and repetitive with bean mouth animation or just simplistic and easy, bouncy, rounded styles, it was nice to see some uniquely designed characters, fast-paced and wild animations, and the inclusion of some clever pop Asian moments, like over-the-top facial expressions and the like. Also, the comedy in the movie was actually really good throughout the movie. One of my favorite moments was when the girls see one of the Saja Boys expose his abs, which causes their eyes to turn into corn, because it looks like abdominals, and then explode into popcorn, which Mira proceeds to eat.
Just right, she don't get got a wake, set it by the hole. 모든
빨리는 완전 어울려 무엇을 원하든
That was actually fucking funny. Overall, the film is honestly very entertaining. The story's pretty good. It's nothing groundbreaking or phenomenal, and there are a few plot holes, we'll get to that, but easy to digest and follow overall, and it's good enough to get wrapped up in. Good for adults and kids too, I'd say. Now for some negatives, because there are some negatives. The film focuses far more on Rumi than it does Mira and Zoe, and I feel that's a misstep, as Zoe and Mira have such distinct personalities and backstories of their own that I wish were explored. Like, we get lip service to it, like how Mira had an uptight family that pushed her away, and how Zoe overcompensates in her behavior because she doesn't feel like she truly belongs anywhere. I think if we dove more into that, it'd be a much better girl group kind of story. Then there's the question of how demons work in this world. Like, for example, Genu was clearly a human who became a demon, so are all demons former humans who sold their souls? Because there's a scene when Rumi questions a random demon if he's being forced to serve Grima, and the demon just laughs at her, which begs the question if other demons are bound by their shame or guilt like Genu is. Only Genu seems to meet this criteria, so what's the deal? This should have been more explained. Then there's also the Honmoon itself. As popular as K-pop is today, it's still not a world-beloved genre of music, so how could Huntrix get so popular that they have a world-spanning barrier against demons? It just begs a lot of questions. Then there's the villain himself. Grima was kind of a letdown, if I'm being honest. He was a big, intimidating force at first with his fire-like aura being in the shape of a giant maw. But then in the final battle, he just came out looking like that villain from the Jimmy Neutron movie. I was hoping there'd be a joke about him looking like a pretty boy too. That would have been really awesome, but whatever. Most of that's just nitpicking at that point. So honestly, final verdict, I think the movie is pretty dang awesome, especially considering it's one of the first animated movies to beat Pixar. Yeah, K-pop Demon Hunters outperformed Pixar's Elio. That's like never happened where Pixar lost out to some Netflix streamed movie. Like, when has this ever happened? It's crazy. But that's the movie. That's my thoughts on the movie, completely without any reference to my faith. Now we're getting to this part. What do I look at this as a Christian? What is my Christian perspective of the movie? As a Christian, what can be taken from it? I mean, at first glance, I don't see a clear problem. It's about a girl group fighting demons. I'm behind that. It's kind of a personal fantasy of mine to don knight-like armor and fight demons and evil satanic creatures in the name of God. Amen. But let's break this down. Let's start with an obvious point that I think needs to be addressed. The demons of this movie are not equitable to actual demons. Any Christian perspective on this movie that quickly tries to say these demons are like the ones in the Bible, they're wrong. There are various differences, and the rules for these demons are not well explained in the movie. We need to get that out there ahead of time, because I feel like a lot of people are going to overlook that and just assume that Rumi's relationship with Genu is a sacrilegious thing. Oh, they're teaching you to love demons. No, that's not what the film is teaching, and if you took that from it, you were looking for a problem. When I look at Genu, I have to ask a lot of questions. He's a demon in the film for sure, but what sets him apart from the rest? Well, he's remorseful. He feels guilt. He claims all demons feel is guilt and shame, but we never see that. It could be argued that at that point when Genu said this, he made that up to try to manipulate Rumi, but it's clear it's true for him at the very least. He feels remorse and shame for what he did 400 years ago. He regrets his actions, and when Rumi offers to help him, he betrays her because he doesn't think he deserves redemption.
You're a demon, just like me. All we get to do is live with our pain, our misery. That's all we deserve.
Let's leave out the demon aspect a moment and ask a question. Is there a lesson in that? I think there is. Rumi, Mira, Zoe, and Genu all have something in common. In fact, it's something they have in common with all of us. They all have baggage. Something holding them down that they're ashamed of. In fact, we see that Grima plays off this. At some point in the movie, they all hear his voice in their head trying to convince them that they aren't good enough. They're weak, they're sinful, they're guilty, and he can make it right. This is a direct tactic from Satan himself to weigh you down with your guilt to the point you decide you don't deserve salvation. You can't be saved, and therefore, you should give in to your primal nature and wallow in your own sin and misery. Easier to give in to despair and trust some other power to make the pain go away, right? That's why Your Idol, the song, works so well as the villain song. The song Your Idol has the Saja Boys telling the bewitched audience they can be your idols. They can be what you rely on. There's a specific line in the song I adore where Genu says, quote, "I'm the only one who will love you for your sins."
I'm the only one who'll love your sins. Feel the way my voice gets underneath your skin.
Oh, that line is gold. Look at yourself in the mirror sometime and you'll hate what you see. I guarantee it. A warped pile of insecurity, fear, hate, sin, lust, jealousy, wrath. Yeah, that feels like me half the time I look in the mirror, you know. When I dig down deep into the core of who I am, I find something to hate about myself. Something that I just can't stand to look at. And I'll bet for some of you it's the exact same way. And Satan's whole tactic is to tell you no one will love you because of this. You're worthless, you're disgusting, you're wrong, you don't deserve love or salvation or help. All the blessings in your life you think you have, you don't deserve them. While the demons in this film are not one-to-one with ours, their tactics, strategies, and methods are very close. Now let's talk about Rumi's relationship to Genu, because that's what everyone wants to talk about. While the relationship is never explicitly romantic, it is implied they both like each other, but they never go beyond just hand-holding. Now the question is going to be asked, is it wrong that Rumi cares for a demon? Is that a subtle message that we should care about devils and evildoers? No. Like I said before, simply put, I see this another way. Rumi is terrified that she is a damned demon herself, and Genu, she sees in him a demon like her, who regrets and hates what he is. She wants to save him because by saving him, it means she could save herself. She says it clearly in the movie. If there's no hope for you, then there's definitely no hope for me.
I am a mistake. Have been since the moment I was born. So I have to believe. Because if there's no hope for you, what hope is there for me?
Here's the Christian takeaway I had. We're all damned, you know? By our sins and our evil deeds and desires, we're all damned and doomed already. As Rumi says, I was a mistake from the very start of my life. From the day I was born, I was a mistake. I messed up. If there is any chance for us to be saved, would we not want to take it? As a Christian, my heart hurts for those who haven't found Christ or don't want to. I want to see them saved. I want to help them be saved. And when they say, don't bother, there's no hope for me, I feel like I sound just like Rumi when I say, if God can't save you, he can't save me either. Leave aside that Genu's a demon for a second. Leave that alone, okay? Look at what he is. A man who made a terrible mistake and can't make it right. Torn up by guilt, shame, and pain. Should he be forgiven? Does he deserve forgiveness? Can he be redeemed? The Christian answer is he can be saved, and as Christians, we should want to try to save him. So I actually think it's really meaningful that Rumi goes from hating Genu and hating all demons to suddenly growing a heart that says, I see a bit of myself in who you are, and I want to save you because I know if I can save you, there's hope for me too. A very compassionate frame of mind. You'll notice as you watch the movie that Rumi goes through a bit of a change. At first, she hates demons all out. But after meeting Genu, hearing his story, learning more about him, she wants to save him. She wants to help him. And no, it's not just because he's a pretty boy. I think a lot of people are going to hone in on that. She just has a crush on him. I think there's more to it than that. Now, aside from that, are there other Christian messages we could take away? Yes, I think there are a few more, and maybe not as overly obvious. For example, one of the primary ways the girls can tell a demon in disguise is that their arms might show purple patterns that give away their true nature. This is what Rumi desperately wants to hide. In fact, the girls use this fact as a double meaning in their song Takedown, where they use the line, when the patterns start to show, it makes the hatred want to grow out of my veins. But from a Christian perspective, patterns can have another meaning, specifically patterns of behavior. I think what sets Genu apart from other demons, like I said, is the simple truth that while he definitely has patterns, he's not monstrous like the rest of them. One of my conclusions about the movie is this. I think that what could have happened, many of the demons could have been people who all did something guilty or shameful, but they gave themselves up completely to Grima, have wallowed in their shame and misery, have let go of their shame and misery, and now just bask in their evil, wicked patterns. So with that in mind, what if in the case of Genu, in the case of ourselves rather, certain things about ourselves and our actions, habits, or behaviors, like we know they're wrong, we want to hide it, like Rumi or Genu, but there are some who don't care about their patterns. They don't care about showing it. They give in to the reprehensible behavior and become, for lack of a better word, demons. Genu and Rumi don't want to give in to this. Genu wants to be rid of his guilt and shame, but wants to believe and hope that he can do it without sacrificing what little humanity he has left. His motivation in the movie is for Grima to remove the memories of his sins and to rid him of his guilt. Perhaps if Grima were to do this, it would make Genu fully demon, like the others, which is what he thinks he deserves. Meanwhile, Rumi is offering another way out, a way to redeem him without succumbing to his sin and his evil and his guilt. Now, there's also a lesson of idolatry and idol worship. I think this is the real big one for me. The song Your Idol, which I think is a lot of people's favorite song, it's a great villain song. I think it perfectly encapsulates the idea of how do we create idols for ourselves. And not always are they obvious totems or religious symbols, but instead they're celebrities, people, things, pastimes, hobbies, interests. They are what we put value in. So, for example, the Saja Boys, through their beauty, talent, and presence, were able to capture the hearts of millions very quickly, and like any idol, they make people put their trust, heart, and wants onto them. One line from the song that stuck out was, "Thank you for the pain, because it got me going viral."
Thank you for the pain, cause it got me going viral. Oh, yeah, now you're in the fever, making you a believer. Now that we had no choice, you had an idol.
You know, one thing we don't often think about with idols is that they take from you. It seems harmless, doesn't it? What's wrong with following a K-pop band when you really like them? I mean, what's wrong with buying their CDs? All of them. What's wrong with buying a plane ticket to go see them live? What's wrong with buying as much of their merch as I possibly can? What's wrong with giving up time, energy, livelihood, and space in the name of an innocent K-pop group? And as time drags on and you become more and more obsessed, your pain becomes their profit. This is idolatry. Now, of course, one could think this is a bit over the top, right? Who would honestly fall for something so obvious? I'm not obsessed with a K-pop group or any pop group. I'm good. Well, replace the Saja Boys with, say, pornography, gambling, money, success, recognition, YouTube subscriptions. How far will you go to satisfy these things in your life? The Saja Boys are simply a physical incarnation of what an idol is, and their song is a haunting reminder of the power they can have. Hell, I could probably do a full breakdown of the song Your Idol and talk about the religious terminology and references made. Like, for example, did you know that the chanting at the start of the song is in Latin, and the Latin translates to... Nah, I'll do that in another video. Maybe. Anyway, at the end of the day, this movie was exceptionally well done from a musical, narrative, and production value vantage point. While certainly fictional and not at all reflective of real demons and theology, the message we can take from this movie as Christians are interesting. And I enjoyed watching and analyzing for the messages one could take. I firmly believe that even products that are secular and not Christian by nature, like, let's be honest, no one in this movie was trying to teach Christian messages overtly. But I do believe that if you have the eyes and ears to hear, you can take Christian messages from just about anything, some good and some bad. And I think that K-pop Demon Hunters, while obviously a silly, fun, very well-made movie about a bunch of K-pop girls killing demons, because that's what it is at the end of the day, it had some stuff to teach. Now, the reason I wanted to get ahead of this, because some people are going to say, Raven, this is so unlike what you've made in the past. Why did you do this? Two reasons. The first is, I've already seen enough people try to come at this as Christians and say, look at the things Satan's trying to teach you from this. Were you looking that hard for it? And two, because I want to try talking about other stuff. As you guys know, I'm a Christian, right? And I want to try to use my channel to talk about faith. I'm not asking you to become a believer like me. I'm not saying you have to. I'm not going to beat you over the head with the Bible. That's not my goal. But I do believe that sometimes when you look at things in a certain way and get a good and solid understanding of what you can see in other pieces of media, you may come away with a whole new way of looking at things. So that was really what I wanted to do with this. Have you seen K-pop Demon Hunters yet? If you have not, I can't believe I'm saying this with a title as silly as that, but go watch it. It's honestly really good. And if you don't want to just watch the movie, get the soundtrack. It's goated. It's really good. And if you have already seen it, what did you think of the movie? Let me know down in the comments. And finally, what did you guys think of this video? Do you think that I made some interesting points? Did I say anything that you never thought of before? Let me know that also down in the comments section. Would love to hear from you guys. And that's all I got time for right now. Thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.